husband, we have a 2013 P85 Plus, which we've had since it was new. And it all started out by my husband in, I guess it must have been in 2011 or something like that. He was reading about Tesla and that they were going to make a new electric car, Model S, and he was really intrigued about that. And here in Norway we have it was about the breaking point where it started to grow in numbers in electric cars here in Norway. And here in Norway you have a lot of advantages if you drive an electric car. We had been living outside of Oslo for a few years, and we had seen the queue into town every morning. And one of the big advantages of driving an electric driving an electric car is to be able to drive in a commuter lane. So actually, that was sort of the first reason why we thought about buying electric. And then we couldn't really find the car that we wanted to have because the range was not good enough, or we thought it wasn't good enough. I might add later, I guess, but then again, you didn't have that many chargers around at offices and things like that. So my husband's first attempt to buy an electric car failed. So, but when the Model S came, and that was then we were able to order it. I think it must have been, it was 20 months before we got it. So we kind of waited for a long time to get it. So we got it. We got it in August 2013 as one of the first Model S's that came to Norway and to Europe actually. We just love it. There is various forums where you can share your experience and discuss, and there were all the guys wanted to also buy an electric car. And they were very curious because we had an early car. How is it? How does it drive? What does it look like? What trim do you get? And things like that. And then being active on the forums made them, I don't know, I was active there at least, and I was noticed. And there were a few guys that wanted to form a club. So they did, and that was early, or that was in September, November, I believe it was, 2013. The club didn't get the web page running before 2014, and that was about when you were able to register to become a member. So for the first formal meeting in the club, like the founding meeting, that was in May, I believe it was, 2014.
Wow.
They asked if I wanted to be part of the board, if I wanted to do that, and I was lucky to be part of that. We're about 6,350 last time I checked. So.
And it covers the whole the country of Norway.
All of Norway. Yeah. That's something we have on our list, on our to-do list. I know that other clubs have gotten better at that than we, but Norway is a pretty long and narrow country.
Yes. So most of it, I would assume most of the Teslas are in Oslo then.
Yeah. Quite a lot. You have also lots in Bergen and in Stavanger, and Trondheim, and all the way up actually. But of course, there are less as long when you go out of the cities.
So, do you have activities for regions outside of Oslo?
Yes. Last Sunday, I was in Bergen actually, on a club meeting there.
So, how far do you drive from here to Oslo, Bergen?
Bergen, that is 6-7 hours drive or something
Wow,
like that.
that's a long one.
Yes, so I was there on another business, so I was able to catch it on the way back.
Good. So you have somebody oversee that area,
yes,
or
yes,
okay,
there
I
are
see.
2 guys sitting in Bergen. They are doing
Okay.
business from Bergen, and the plan for the future is to have people like that all over the bigger cities and areas at least. So we have some guys here and there, and they will, yeah. Actually just membership fees, and another important thing I have to mention also is that back in 2013 when we started out, charging was still an issue, and of course it's to these days it's still, but it's getting so much better these days. But back then it was really difficult to get charging in some places. So some of the the basics around the club was that if you pay a one-time membership fee of 500 NOK, that would go into the charge fund, and that would finance the club setting up chargers on locations around Norway. So there are some chargers around in Norway on distant places where there weren't any superchargers at start, particularly up in the northern parts of Norway. We also installed a couple of chargers in Sweden actually. Because Norwegians from the north, they would sometimes drive through Sweden to get quicker down to southern parts of Europe, because the roads are a bit better in Sweden. The charge fund is still existing, and it has changed a little bit focus over the years. As Tesla started this destination charging program, we switched into getting and buying CHAdeMO adapters. So the CHAdeMO adapters, and there is also a separate map for that on our web page, where you can look up where you would find a CHAdeMO adapter. It will normally then be at a hotel or a gas station or something where you have a commercial charger with a CHAdeMO fast charging, and then you can go in there and you can say, okay, I want to borrow the Tesla Owners Club's adapter. And you can plug it in, and you can, you just leave a deposit or any.
So you still have the right now the membership due still exists for all the members to do that.
Yes.
So how did you actually build the chargers with a charge fund? Is it the all level 2 chargers?
It's a Type 2 chargers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Type 2 chargers.
So 22 kilowatts, and for staying overnight, that's it's pretty good.
Interesting.
Or if you want to go and you can sit down and have a nice meal and eat and wait a little bit. And the funny thing is that some of the places where we placed the first chargers and adapters are locations where Tesla later have built superchargers. and
So Tesla follow you, huh?
Yeah. So my friend Odd, he was he was really what you could say good at finding the good locations.
Okay, so
it's a good mix there, because I think first of all it's the government that made it easier for people to or cheaper to buy an electric car than a fossil car when buying a new car. And then it is actually Tesla that came with the long-range cars that made it attractive and possible to drive a long-distance drive with an electric car. You have one factor more actually here in Norway, and that's a very, very active National EV Association. They have been talking to the authorities, to the government, to politicians for many years, and telling about what they need to do and what they can see is smart to do. And it's private, but they get some state support for the help they do.
So, but in any event, even the government has to be able to listen to what they say before
Yes.
they make the
And
change,
they're
right?
really they have lots of knowledge within the DB Association, and the government listens to them. So, and they're asked for advice. So that's really, really good. Have a support system for where you can. It's Enova, it is called. They would give you some money to just put up a charger. They would, for the long distance stretches like the E6, we have the main roads.
The main road.
Yeah. They would say that, for instance, the standard is firstly you have to. There is a standard set,
Right.
and that you're supposed to have a charger for every, I don't know if it's 20 kilometers or something like that. There's
Right.
supposed to be a charger. I'll
Just
have to double check the
approximate,
facts.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so and then they all say that okay, who wanna bid on this one? Who wants to have this stretch of road and cover those with chargers? And then you will have several companies coming in saying if they are able to make it or not, and give their price or what they say or think it's going to cost for them to put them up. And then the government will also grant them some money to be able to set them up. What I really want to do is to take the charge fund and go through and make use of the money we have some on book, or I saved up for setting up chargers. So I want to. It's really hard work actually to find good locations and to talk to the guys and do the work to get them up there. But I really hope that we can use our members to scout out good locations, talk to the hotel owners, talk to the restaurants, whatever, and so that we can have even more chargers out there. We are 9 normally.
board members.
Yeah. So there are 7, and then two
Are those board members elected, or they
Yeah.
are okay, or they are not
So-
appointed or elected?
No, we are all elected. So actually, I'm up for election in June. As the former president, he stepped down ahead of his
Schedule.
ahead of schedule. Yeah, so I'm stepping in now. So,
Oh, I see.
but I'm up for election. So hopefully it's hopefully it's gonna be me. I don't know. I'm ready for it at least, because I've been vice president for some years. So, or actually since 2015. So I know pretty much about what happens and yeah. Members come in various types, I would say. You have those early adopters. They are still there. It's a bit hard to say actually.
Okay.
How many different? Because we are so widely spread around the country. So whenever where we try to have an event, for instance in Trondheim, there would be a good bunch of people there. When we have our annual ice driving event up in the mountains, we can be 130 persons. When Tesla came here many years ago, they said that okay, during winter you have there are a lot of mountains here in Norway.
Yeah.
And over the mountains there are roads, and sometimes the roads over the mountains are closed because there is a blizzard, for instance. And to keep the roads open, you would have a convoy going over, where you have a tractor or something with a plow in front, and then you have someone to collect everybody else at the back. And then when there's a set time, you drive. And you have to, and it's, yeah. But sometimes you then have to wait for a long time to wait for convoy to go over.
Right.
Because it has to be nice enough.
Right.
So it's safe to go over.
Got it.
And there were some of those guys who led the convoy who would say that no, we can't have electric cars going over with us because they will get stuck. They don't have enough power, and so on and so forth. And there would also be some guys saying that no, they can just be put in the garage to next summer and then take it out then because they're not fit for winter. So I guess that was sort of the start. And,
you try to prove them wrong, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and it also to learn, or for myself or for ourselves, how it actually was. What would happen if something bad happened and you slipped?
Right.
So there was a Tesla owner that had been driving up on various tracks before. He had some contacts, and he suggested that we went to this nice, huge lake up in the mountains and try there, because they really prepare the tracks nice there. So it's
interesting.
Yeah, I guess you can find some film clips and things like that.
Wow.
Online from.
That's very
So
interesting.
you can check that out. But anyway, so the first few years we were just about 20 cars, something like that. But now, last 2 years, we have been more than 70 cars.
Wow.
And
So you can be a convoy by itself.
yeah, of course, yeah, we can. So it's a closed ice track on the big lake, and last 2 years we have had also some professional instructors coming with us.
Okay.
So they would have activities for us to try.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, what would happen if you go around this curve and you lose traction in the middle of it? How can you save yourself onto your correct side of the road again, and things like that? And what if there is a moose coming out of the woods and you have to hit the pedal pretty quickly?
Yeah.
And then the evasive maneuvers to get around.
Okay.
So
interesting.
So all of those things, and just driving on the track and having fun. So it's a social and learning experience.